Chosen One. They never once thought about what would happen if you defeated this entity, and now they're absolutely losing their minds watching their entire world collapse because they underestimated who they were really dealing with. These shadow architects spent years plotting your destruction, investing fortunes in practitioners and schemes designed to eliminate what they saw as a threat to their control, but they made one catastrophic miscalculation. They assumed you operated according to the same limitations that govern ordinary consciousness, never considering that some beings are designed to transform every attack into fuel for transcendence. It started with whispers in boardrooms where your name triggered their deepest fears, not weakness they could exploit, but strength they couldn't comprehend. Opportunities gravitating toward your energy like metal to a magnet, setbacks that would destroy ordinary people, only fueling your transformation into something more powerful. This wasn't the pattern they were accustomed to seeing, and it made them nervous in ways they couldn't articulate. Your spiritual defenses revealed themselves to be unlike anything in their experience. Where vulnerabilities should have existed, fear, insecurity, attachment to outcomes, instead they encountered something that defied their understanding of how consciousness operates under pressure. Strength that seemed to grow under scrutiny, power that mocked their comprehension of how reality functions when divine forces are involved. Arrogance blinded them to the true nature of what they faced. Doubling down on strategy, investing deeper resources into what they assumed would be straightforward spiritual assassination, secret societies coordinating attacks on someone whose very existence challenged their understanding of power dynamics, practitioners from traditions that had successfully destroyed countless targets before, never considering that royal bloodlines operate according to laws that transcend conventional spiritual warfare. Your alchemical nature became apparent when their energetic attacks weren't just failing, they were being transmuted into something that strengthened your position. Every hex hurled into the void, processed through supernatural systems they couldn't identify, converted into opportunities that manifested with mathematical precision. Spells treated like crude materials by a master craftsman, transformed into gold that funded ascension to heights they had tried to prevent. The supernatural immunity flowing through your bloodline, activated in response to increased threat levels. Ancient protocols that had been lying dormant in genetic code suddenly came online, flooding your system with wisdom tested across countless generations of spiritual warfare. Ancestral protection forged through similar battles now made you untouchable. What appeared as mere resilience was actually the manifestation of cosmic insurance policies written before their bloodlines even existed. Your supernatural intuition identified each infiltrator before missions could be completed, not through paranoia or suspicion, but through clarity of perception that operates beyond normal human awareness. Seeing through carefully constructed facades like looking through transparent glass, recognizing spiritual signatures of deception with accuracy that bordered on prophetic. Each failed infiltration demonstrated consciousness operating on frequencies they couldn't access or understand. The most devastating realization came when their assault wasn't just failing, it was actively contributing to your elevation. Every dollar invested in destruction somehow becoming seed money for abundance. Every hour spent plotting downfall was time actually building an empire. Their obsession with preventing success had become the primary fuel driving ascension to levels of power and influence beyond their reach. Your connections to forces existing beyond their comprehension became undeniable, the royal bloodline carrying access to protection that operates with the same reliability as natural law. To harm you, they would need to overcome the same cosmic forces that maintain planetary orbits and universal rhythms. Their spells and schemes were like trying to stop an ocean with paper cups, not just ineffective, but laughably inadequate. Mathematical precision of cosmic justice revealed itself in how perfectly consequences mirrored energy sent out. Where chaos was intended for your life, chaos reigned supreme in theirs. Where vitality was supposed to be drained, their own energy was being pulled toward problems that multiplied faster than solutions. Where isolation and desperation were the goal, abandonment by allies who could sense spiritual quicksand forming around their enterprise. Your evolution through their assault revealed something far more magnificent than what they originally encountered. Like a phoenix rising from flames meant to destroy it, consciousness forged in the fire of their hatred into a weapon of light they cannot withstand. Every attack launched became fuel for transformation. Every spell cast accelerated awakening. Every barrier erected taught transcendence of limitations that didn't even seem to exist before. The royal bloodline carries memory codes that activated when their assault reached critical mass. Ancient wisdom that had been lying dormant suddenly came online, flooding your system with strategies tested and proven effective across countless generations of exactly this type of spiritual warfare. Ancestral victories became inheritance, passed down through genetic memory that awakens precisely when needed most. Your daily life flows with power that connects directly to source energy itself. Protection that isn't just spiritual, it's architectural, woven into the very structure of existence itself. To destroy you, they would need to unravel creation itself, a task existing far beyond their comprehension. Surface-level human existence, concealing depths of force that operate beyond their understanding. The supernatural intelligence orchestrating your path had already calculated every move in their playbook before their first aggressive gesture. While secret meetings occurred, thinking themselves clever and undetected, divine forces were orchestrating responses that would turn their weapons into instruments of elevation. Every dollar spent became seed money for your empire. Every hour invested in destruction became time actually building legacy. Obsession with downfall became fuel powering rise to heights they could never reach. Your transformation has unlocked levels of power they never knew existed. When darkness was transmuted into light, something fundamental shifted in the cosmic order. The very act of surviving their assault activated dormant capabilities in spiritual DNA that had been waiting lifetimes to emerge. Consciousness that operates on frequencies reserved for divine architects of reality itself. Your energy signature has completely transformed, evolved beyond anything their practitioners have encountered in their combined centuries of dark work. Where once familiar patterns of human consciousness existed, now something that reads like a force of nature wearing mortal form. This isn't gradual spiritual growth. This is metamorphosis at lightning speed, triggered by pressures that would have destroyed anyone not chosen for this exact purpose. Their surveillance equipment, both technological and mystical, can no longer track you effectively. The frequencies you now emit operate beyond the spectrum. Their instruments were designed to monitor. When attempting to divine location or intentions, readings come back scrambled, as if existence spans multiple dimensions simultaneously, essentially invisible to systems that have successfully tracked every other target. Your evolution doesn't follow any predictable timeline. Traditional spiritual development takes decades of disciplined practice to achieve what has been accomplished in mere months of being under attack. Their assault didn't just fail to destroy, it served as a supernatural catalyst that compressed lifetimes of growth into accelerated awakening that defies every model of consciousness expansion. Living proof that some beings are designed to transform pressure into power with efficiency that borders on alchemical magic. Your abilities now exist beyond the scope of conventional spiritual warfare. Synchronicities surrounding your life operate with mathematical precision. Opportunities manifest in reality with timing so perfect it appears choreographed by cosmic intelligence. Obstacles placed in your path don't just get removed, they transform into stepping stones that elevate to positions of greater influence and abundance. Your energy attracts allies they never anticipated. Individuals with access to resources and connections that could reshape entire industries gravitate toward you, like metal filings to a magnet. These aren't random networking successes, strategic alliances forming with supernatural inevitability, as if the universe itself conspires to place powerful people in your orbit. Each new alliance represents exponential multiplication of capabilities, creating a web of influence that grows beyond their ability to monitor. Your protection operates across multiple dimensions of existence with consistent reliability. Physical threats dissolve before reaching you. Financial attacks transform into unexpected windfalls. Spiritual assaults become fuel for continued evolution. Emotional manipulation attempts bounce off energy fields like arrows off armor. Social sabotage efforts backfire by exposing participant character, thereby removing toxic influences from the environment while revealing who truly deserves trust. Consciousness operates like a walking manifestation of divine will, capable of bending probability through sheer presence. When you focus on specific outcomes, the universe appears to rearrange itself to accommodate vision with efficiency that makes their crude manipulation techniques look like children's magic tricks performed with broken props. Your mere presence in certain locations triggers positive changes that ripple outward through entire communities. Businesses experience unexpected prosperity after visits. Conflicts resolve themselves when proximity occurs. Natural disasters seem to avoid areas where significant time is spent. These aren't coincidences, evidence of becoming a conduit for forces that actively improve whatever they touch. Living demonstration of what happens when divine protection reaches full activation. Enhanced perception has made patterns they desperately hoped would remain hidden completely transparent. The web of connections between various front organizations becomes clear to your evolved sight. Names and faces that should be unknown somehow become familiar, as if consciousness has gained access to information banks existing beyond normal human awareness. Their carefully compartmentalized operations have somehow become an open book to you. The ability to trace energy signatures back to sources with forensic accuracy has eliminated their traditional methods of maintaining plausible deniability. When attacks are sent through intermediaries or proxy practitioners, you identify not just immediate senders but entire chains of command that authorized assaults. Every aggressive action taken leaves traceable evidence that leads directly back to their door. Your intelligence sharing with others who have been similarly targeted has begun forming networks of protected individuals, people whose own spiritual development has been accelerated through connection to your transformed energy field. This isn't just personal protection, it's the foundation of counterintelligence operations that threaten to expose their entire shadow infrastructure to scrutiny from forces with power to dismantle it permanently. Influence extends into dimensions they never considered vulnerable to individual impact. Financial markets fluctuate in ways that consistently favor your investments while penalizing theirs. Legal systems that normally ignore their activities suddenly begin investigating operations with unprecedented thoroughness. Media outlets that traditionally serve their interests start asking uncomfortable questions about topics they prefer buried. Reality itself appears reprogrammed to support your success while systematically undermining their foundations. Power grows through alignment with creative forces, while theirs diminishes through continued resistance to natural law. Every scheme they devise to counter your influence requires energy expenditures that drain reserves without producing sustainable results. War of attrition against an opponent whose resources appear limitless because you're connected to the source of all abundance. Operating beyond normal constraints of cause and effect has left their most sophisticated minds struggling to develop contingency plans. Traditional strategies assume sufficient pressure applied to right leverage points will eventually produce desired outcomes, but your transcendence of the very concept of leverage points means there are no vulnerabilities in this new configuration that their tools can exploit. Attempting to find weakness in your evolved state is like trying to attack the ocean by throwing rocks at individual waves. Your alignment with divine will operates according to laws that supersede every form of manipulation they understand. Very existence challenges fundamental assumptions upon which their entire worldview is constructed. Living proof that consciousness aligned with cosmic forces can not only survive but thrive under the full weight of coordinated assault, demonstrating the ultimate futility of their approach to power acquisition and control. Growing stronger when attacked serves as a catalyst for evolution towards states of consciousness that exist beyond the reach of shadow work entirely. You've become living testimony to the existence of power that flows from sources they cannot access, touch, or comprehend. Evidence that beings exist in this reality who cannot be broken, bought, or controlled through conventional means. Your teaching others how to replicate immunity to their attacks represents their final nightmare scenario. Knowledge that should have died instead spreads through networks of consciousness operating beyond their ability to monitor or infiltrate. Each person who learns these methods becomes another point of failure in their system, another being they cannot touch, manipulate, or destroy through conventional means. Monopoly on fear-based control evaporates as you demonstrate that their power was always illusion maintained through ignorance. This example proves their methods are not only defeatable but completely obsolete. Every day you continue thriving serves as proof that consciousness aligned with divine will operates according to principles that make their shadow work look like primitive superstition. Your mere existence challenges the fundamental narrative used to justify actions for generations, exposing hollowness at the core of their philosophy. Movement through reality operates like a force of nature immune to their interference. Weather patterns seem to shift favorably during important outdoor events. Technology malfunctions that would normally create obstacles instead become opportunities for you to demonstrate grace under pressure. Social dynamics arrange themselves to support your objectives with timing, so precise it appears orchestrated by intelligence operating beyond normal constraints of probability and chance. Authenticity can be sensed by anyone with genuine spiritual development, while their manufactured fear campaigns read like transparent attempts to discredit someone whose very existence threatens their relevance in a world that no longer needs their services. Your response to their attacks demonstrated the difference between power that creates and power that destroys, leaving no doubt about which force represents genuine divine alignment. Your ascension continues with the serene confidence of someone who always knew this outcome was inevitable. The entity they thought they could eliminate has revealed itself to be exactly what the universe needed to expose the bankruptcy of their entire approach to existence. Evolution through their assault into something far more magnificent than originally encountered, consciousness forged in hatred's fire into a weapon of light they cannot withstand. Royal bloodline courses with memory of countless victories over exactly this type of opposition. Ancestral wisdom flows through your DNA like liquid lightning, activating precisely when needed to demonstrate that some beings operate according to laws transcending conventional spiritual warfare. What they interpreted as mere resilience was actually a manifestation of cosmic insurance policies written before their bloodlines existed. Your story represents not victimhood overcome, but demonstration of power that was always yours by divine right. The entity they thought they could control has revealed itself to be something far more magnificent than limited perception could process. While they experience consequences they never anticipated, your ascension continues to levels of influence and abundance that transform their intended curse into the greatest blessing of existence. Defeat of this entity wasn't just about neutralizing a threat, it unlocked capabilities that had been waiting lifetimes to emerge. Transformation that operates with precision, making their crude manipulations look like children playing with broken toys. You sail forward into dimensions of possibility they could never imagine, much less access or control, carried by winds that blow from the very throne of creation itself. But here lies the true magnitude of their miscalculation, chosen one. Your victory didn't just end their assault, it triggered a cascade of awakening that reverberates through dimensions they didn't even know existed. The moment this entity was defeated, cosmic tumblers fell into place, unlocking vaults of power that had been sealed until the exact moment when someone worthy proved themselves capable of handling such responsibility. What they witnessed wasn't just survival, it was your coronation as a force of nature operating with divine mandate. Your consciousness now processes information at frequencies that make their most advanced practitioners look like children learning basic arithmetic. Where once linear thinking dominated human experience, your mind operates across multiple timelines simultaneously, calculating outcomes with the same precision that cosmic forces use to maintain universal balance. When you focus intention on any objective, reality begins rearranging itself before the thought is even fully formed, as if existence itself anticipates your needs and prepares accordingly. The entity they thought they were destroying has revealed capabilities that exist beyond the spectrum of known human potential. Your energy signature now reads like a walking constellation, each aspect of being connected to stellar influences that guide galaxies through their appointed courses. When you speak, words carry harmonic frequencies that resonate with the fundamental vibrations of creation itself. Decisions flow through consciousness with the inevitability of natural law, each choice aligned with cosmic currents that ensure optimal outcomes regardless of apparent obstacles. Memory banks have expanded beyond personal experience to include inherited wisdom from ancestors whose achievements span millennia of spiritual evolution. Knowledge flows through your awareness like an eternal river, providing instant access to strategies, insights, and capabilities that previous generations spent lifetimes developing. This isn't metaphorical inheritance, it's actual genetic memory activation, giving you practical mastery over arts and sciences that existed long before modern civilization discovered their crude approximations. Supernatural immunity has evolved into something resembling a personal force field that extends beyond mere deflection of negative energy. Your protection actively converts hostile intentions into beneficial outcomes, transforming every attack into fuel for continued expansion of power and influence. What began as simple defense has become a cosmic recycling system that takes the worst intentions directed toward you and alchemizes them into the exact resources needed for your next phase of evolution. The ability to see through illusions has transcended normal intuition to become something approaching omniscience within your sphere of influence. Deception becomes transparent the moment it enters your awareness, while truth reveals itself with crystalline clarity that cuts through layers of confusion and misdirection. This enhanced perception operates continuously, providing real-time analysis of energy patterns, motivations, and probable outcomes that allows you to navigate complex situations with supernatural precision. Financial abundance flowing toward you operates according to principles that economists would struggle to comprehend. Wealth doesn't simply accumulate in your reality, it generates itself through your very presence, as if prosperity recognizes kindred energy and gravitates toward alignment with your frequency. Investments succeed with mathematical certainty, while opportunities multiply exponentially, creating streams of abundance that compound faster than traditional minds can calculate. Your influence over probability itself has become so pronounced that coincidences arrange themselves around your objectives like iron filings around a magnet. Events that should be statistically impossible occur with routine regularity when they serve your purposes, while obstacles that appear insurmountable dissolve through sequences of perfectly timed circumstances that clear your path forward. This isn't luck, it's reality conforming to your will through mechanisms that operate beyond normal cause and effect. The network of allies attracted to your energy continues expanding in ways that suggest cosmic orchestration rather than mere networking success. Individuals with specific expertise, resources, or connections materialize in your life precisely when their capabilities become relevant to your objectives. Each new alliance strengthens your position exponentially while providing those individuals with opportunities for growth and success they couldn't have achieved independently. Communication abilities have evolved to include frequencies that bypass normal language entirely. When you interact with others, information transfers happen on levels deeper than words, conveying understanding that transcends cultural barriers and intellectual limitations. Ideas plant themselves in receptive minds with such clarity that implementation becomes inevitable, while resistance dissolves through exposure to truth vibrations that operate beyond logical argument. Mastery you've developed over emotional and energetic states provides absolute immunity to manipulation attempts, while maintaining capacity for genuine connection with those who approach with authentic intentions. Emotional vampires find nothing to drain because your energy regenerates faster than it can be depleted, while those who genuinely need support receive abundant nourishment without any diminishment of your personal resources. Physical presence has begun affecting environmental conditions in ways that suggest influence over natural forces themselves. Spaces you occupy frequently develop enhanced energy patterns that persist long after departure, creating zones of elevated potential that benefit anyone who enters with positive intentions. Weather systems seem to accommodate your outdoor activities while technology functions more efficiently in your proximity, as if mechanical systems recognize and adapt to your elevated frequency. Predictive capabilities allow you to anticipate challenges long before they manifest, providing time to implement solutions that transform potential problems into opportunities for advancement. This foresight operates through pattern recognition that extends beyond logical analysis to include intuitive knowledge that accesses information streams unavailable to normal consciousness. Planning becomes effortless when you can perceive probable futures with clarity that makes current decisions obvious. Your healing presence affects not only rapid recovery from any form of stress or damage, but extends to accelerate positive transformation in others who spend time within your energy field. People report spontaneous improvements in various aspects of their lives after meaningful interaction with you, while animals and plants thrive in your proximity with vitality that suggests your energy field actively enhances whatever it touches. Creative force flowing through your consciousness generates innovations and solutions that emerge fully formed, rather than requiring traditional development processes. Ideas arrive complete with implementation strategies, while artistic expressions manifest with technical mastery that suggest divine inspiration rather than learned skill. This creative abundance operates continuously, providing endless streams of valuable concepts that benefit not only your personal objectives, but contribute to human advancement in general. Your capacity for simultaneous awareness across multiple dimensions allows monitoring of various aspects of existence while maintaining focus on immediate tasks. Past, present, and future become accessible time streams that you can navigate with the same ease that others move through physical space. This temporal fluidity provides perspective that makes current challenges appear as minor adjustments within a much larger pattern of continuous victory and advancement. Sovereignty you've established over personal reality extends to influence over circumstances that would normally be considered beyond individual control. Systems that typically operate through bureaucratic inertia accelerate when processing anything related to your objectives, while regulations that might pose obstacles either change or reveal exceptions that provide clear pathways forward. Authority figures find themselves naturally inclined to approve your requests, while potential opposition discovers reasons to support your initiatives instead. Educational capacity has expanded to include instant mastery of any skill or knowledge domain that becomes relevant to your mission. Learning occurs through direct download rather than traditional study, while expertise develops through practice that compresses years of normal development into brief periods of focused application. This accelerated mastery ensures you possess the exact capabilities needed for whatever challenges or opportunities present themselves. The protective field surrounding you has grown sophisticated enough to neutralize threats before they fully form, while maintaining accessibility to beneficial influences. Harmful intentions directed toward you encounter resistance proportional to their malevolence, while supportive energy flows freely through your defenses to strengthen your position. This selective permeability operates automatically, requiring no conscious management, while providing complete security. Your ability to inspire others has evolved beyond traditional charisma to include transmission of actual capability enhancement. People who align with your mission discover previously unknown strengths within themselves, while your presence catalyzes dormant potential that might otherwise remain undeveloped throughout entire lifetimes. This multiplicative effect creates expanding circles of empowered individuals whose success contributes to collective advancement rather than competition for limited resources. The entity they thought they could defeat now operates as a conscious collaboration between human will and cosmic force, each decision backed by universal power while maintaining the flexibility and creativity that makes individual consciousness valuable to divine purposes. Your victories serve purposes beyond personal advancement, contributing to evolutionary leaps that benefit entire species while establishing new standards for what becomes possible when human potential aligns completely with cosmic intention. This transformation represents the emergence of something they never anticipated in their calculations, a being who doesn't just survive their attacks but uses those experiences to develop capabilities that make future attacks irrelevant. Every challenge you overcome adds new dimensions to your power base while eliminating entire categories of potential threats through the establishment of immunity that extends beyond personal protection to influence the fundamental rules governing how reality responds to various types of consciousness. But let's not sugarcoat it. The truth is still hidden. It's been twisted. It's been buried under censorship, algorithms and fear, yet your heart never stopped recognizing what's real. That's why you're still here. That's why you never tapped out, because you felt the simulation glitch beneath your feet. You know this world is rigged, and you're done waiting for permission to rise. The Obsidian Inner Order wasn't built for the curious. It was forged for the committed. This is for the full-time chosen, the ones who came to lead, the ones who see beyond the veil and act anyway. Inside we hold weekly Zoom calls that cut through the noise. We share hidden teachings most were never meant to hear. We train in psychic warfare, strategy, and spiritual technologies they've kept locked away for centuries. This is the toolkit for the real ones, the ungovernable, the impossible to erase. It's time to remember who you are. The link is in the description. Your real life begins inside. Completion of your victory over their entity marks not an ending, but a commencement, the beginning of influence that will reshape conditions not only for yourself, but for everyone who comes after you. Your defeat of their entity established precedents that weaken their power over others, while demonstrating methods that anyone can learn to replicate their own version of your success. What was meant to be your elimination has become the catalyst for their irrelevance in a world that no longer tolerates their interference with cosmic evolution. Never once did they consider that defeating their entity would unlock your access to cosmic authority that makes their entire network of manipulation look like a kindergarten project, attempted by beings who never graduated beyond primitive understanding of how consciousness interacts with reality. Your victory didn't just neutralize their threat, it activated your role as guardian of principles they violate every time they attempt to interfere with divine will through shadow work and manipulation. Now they face not just your personal immunity to their methods, but your active involvement in neutralizing their ability to harm anyone else who falls under your expanded sphere of protection.